Welcome back. This is lesson 2, session 2, page 26, part 2. We're still on page 26. We're looking at our model it. We're going to look at the second picture of our model it, which you can see is going to look something like this. So take a couple seconds to pause the video and read this part of your book. It says, you can find the area of a triangle by composing the triangle with a copy of itself to form a parallelogram. The area of the triangle is half the area of the parallelogram, which is A equals 1/2, 8 times 4. We're going to talk about this up close. But take a second to pause the video and read for yourself. Okay, so here's my triangle, Maria's triangle. You've seen this a couple times now. I just want to show you another quick way that we can find the area of this triangle by using our formula for a parallelogram, which is base times height. Remember, base times height does not work for triangles, which is why we need to make a parallelogram. So here's my triangle. This is telling me that if I make a copy of my triangle, and this is similar to what you guys saw in session 1 when we were talking about Caitlin's skateboard, we can make a copy and flip this triangle over to form a parallelogram. So here's what I mean by that. Here's a copy of this triangle. It's about the same, it's actually exactly the same copy, it's just green. So what I can do here is I've made a copy, right? I had an orange, and now I've made a copy in an exact replica, and now I have an orange triangle and a green triangle. What this is telling me is that I can take my copy and manipulate it or rotate and flip and sandwich together, and you can see we now have this perfect parallelogram that's made from a copy of each triangle. Now that I have a parallelogram, I can use my formula base times height. So I'm going to do the same thing as before and find my base. And I have my height I need to find using a right angle. I actually have some right angles left over from our last video right here. I know that this is my height because it goes from the base to the opposite side and makes a perpendicular intersection and a right angle. Here's my height right here. You may also have your height here, right? We talked about how our height can be on the outside, and you'll notice that this line is the same length as this line. So this works for us as well. My height of this parallelogram is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My base is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so now I can use my formula, B times H, so 8 times 4, and that gives me 32. Now remember, 32 is giving us the area of the entire parallelogram, orange and green. We also know that orange takes up half of this shape, and the green triangle takes up half of this shape. I only want to know the area though, and let me draw this triangle in for you. I can do that here. Something like this, right? I only want the orange shape. So if I know that in total it's 32 and the orange shape only takes up half, what do I have to do to my 32? Pause for a couple seconds and think about it. Since this triangle is taking up half of my parallelogram and my entire parallelogram is 32, I need to cut this in half by dividing by 2 or timesing by 1/2 to get my answer. 32 divided by 2 is 16. So my area of just the triangle just this part right here is 16, because 16 plus 16 would give me 32. And now I know the area of my triangle. But don't go anywhere yet. We still need to write an expression. So a new formula. We're finally going to get to a formula, right, that we can use for triangles. What formula can I use so I can stop cutting my triangles up and manipulating them? I want just a formula that I can use. Do you remember one from 5th grade? Pause the video and think about it now. Okay, so we just talked about how the area of the entire parallelogram would have been 32, which I got by doing 8 times 4, or base times height, which gave me area. And then we said we had to take that 32 and times it by 1/2, which is the same as dividing by 2, to get our new area of 16, which is just the orange triangle. So what is my entire formula going to be? I want to write one expression, one formula for area of a triangle. Well, we still did base times height, right? So we did base times height first. But then what did we have to do? We took that answer, whatever I got from base times height, I had to do that first. So because of PEMDAS, I'm going to use parentheses to mean do base times height first. And then what did we do after? We multiplied by 1/2. So there's your expression for the area of a triangle. Base times height times 1/2. Another way to write this is base times height divided by 2. See me for questions.